Somebody came in the other day and asked me, well, what was my thought about their situation. This gentleman told me that his daughter was engaged to be married, and that she's engaged to be married to a guy who's actually been in jail for dealing in drugs, but he's stopped doing that. He said to me that he wasn't happy about the fact that his daughter was going out or possibly marrying a man that has been a drug dealer and has spent time in jail, and asked me for my opinion, which I gave him, of course, and he was none too happy. I just simply said, obviously your daughter needs to wake up to herself and realise that these people that deal in drugs and have been in jail for drug dealing are not nice people. I certainly wouldn't like my daughters to go out with a person who's been in jail for drug dealing. It's not something that I'm familiar with, and I certainly wouldn't want to have someone across the dinner table and every time I'd look at him I'd say, well, I wonder where he got his last $10 from, because that would go through my head every time I'd see the guy. And he kind of agreed, but he was also somewhat forgiving. Now, if you don't like my opinion, you don't ask for it. I mean, if someone comes into your place and says, you know, blah, 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 and what do you think? I'm thinking, well, mate, I've just given you my opinion and you don't like it. Then in future, don't ask for anyone's opinion. I simply said, if my daughter was going out with a drug dealer or a person who's been in jail who was in fact a drug dealer, I wouldn't be spending any money on the wedding, because that would be just ridiculous. I mean, the guy's obviously corrupt, the guy's obviously somewhat a half-wit, and once he's been in jail for dealing in drugs, he will always be a half-wit. Now, plenty of people in your life do drugs, and some sell drugs. I've never been involved or been associated with drug dealers. I'm aware that being in a nightclub, you're surrounded by people who are drug users, and that's what separated the men from the boys. The real men don't take them. The real men are just normally happy with themselves. They don't need anything false shoved in their body to make them feel any better. So if you're thinking about going out with a person who's actually a drug user or a drug dealer, then obviously you're a moron, and whatever problems you come across in your life, you deserve them. So, as I said to this bloke, mate, would you go out with a female who's been a drug dealer and been in jail for drugs? And he said, when you put it that way, the answer would be no. I said, well, what do you expect? You just can't expect an answer that is any different to a normal person point of view. So there you are. Some guy asks a question, you give him a straight answer, he doesn't like it. So if you don't like the truth, ladies and gentlemen, don't ask the question.